With the advancement and innovation in silicon carbon battery tech, can we finally experience the colossal battery life increase and gains that we've wanted from our flagship devices? Well, let's find out in this extreme battery drain test between the Oppo Find X9 Pro, the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL on mobile cellular data only with no Wi-Fi option. Let's get into it. No time wasting, let's kick things off with this extreme battery drain test between the Oppo Find X9 Pro, the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL. Now, I will go through the specific and exact parameters that I use to set up these devices for this extreme battery drain test, but for now, all you need to know is that we are purely doing this on mobile cellular data only with no Wi-Fi option. And for our extreme battery drain test, we do shoot it as one continuous video with no skips and no stops. We only speed up in the important areas so you don't have to sit around for hours like I had to. So if you appreciate this thorough methodology and approach to our extreme battery drain test, then be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos on the Lover of Tech channel, especially when it comes to our extreme battery drain test. Road to 100,000 subscribers is still on the table for 2025, and with your help and support, we can make it happen. Now, we've got 9 applications, 9 tasks, 1 hour each to see how good is the battery life on these devices. And let me tell you, with this extreme battery drain test, it took me to a place that I thought I would never go to when it comes to doing these technical tests. So buckle up because this is going to be an intense one. Now, first task and application is the camera, doing 4K 60 recording on a main 1X camera at the back for these devices to see how well they hold up. Now, for a lot of people, they're going to be wondering, why would you be continuously recording for an hour plus on a smartphone? Not many people do that, but actually in a world where content creation is such a big deal and people want to be doing things like podcasts, yeah, your phone is going to be the most immediate device that you can use. So trusting it to be able to record good quality video for an hour plus and longer without overheating and good battery life is very important. So after an hour, we have 85% battery, 40.1 degrees Celsius minus 15% battery loss on the iPhone, 88% battery, 44.2 degrees Celsius minus 12% battery loss on the Oppo, and then 82% battery, 43.8 degrees Celsius minus 18% battery loss on the Pixel. So the Pixel's taking the biggest hit. Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting one. So we can see the specifications that we're working with. The Dimensity 9500 is what's powering the Oppo Find X9 Pro, not Snapdragon. So that's going to be very interesting. And of course, look at the battery capacity. 7,500 milliamps, crazy. Compared to the other two, this is a huge jump in battery capacity, and it's all thanks to the 3rd generation silicon carbon battery tech that they're using. So next one is X Spaces, or is it Twitter Spaces? Are you new school X or old school Twitter? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, as we're pretty much going through this is something that when I get a chance to, I do on a regular basis. I create a chat room service where we can just talk about all things related to tech and what's happening with my audience and the other content creator buddies. So this is something I do on a regular basis, and still, it being done on mobile cellular data, it is going to be a little bit more intense than Wi-Fi. Now, after that, we do have 79% battery, 31.1 degrees Celsius minus 6% battery loss on the iPhone, 82% battery, 35.7 degrees Celsius minus 6% battery loss on the Oppo, and then 70% battery, 35.7 degrees Celsius minus 12% battery loss on the Pixel. So the Pixel is taking a massive hit here. It's really hurting. So again, we'll go through the exact parameters of what we have when it comes to things like battery health and the overall performance and setup, but these are pretty much fresh devices, hence why we're using it, hence why we've not added the Galaxy S25 Ultra, because mine has over 200 charge cycles and the battery health not so healthy. So next is TikTok, and I always see TikTok is like a wicked wild west when it comes to posting and consuming data and also just content overall. So it's a really interesting place to be. If you want to see more from us, head over there, TikTok for Lover of Tech. When it comes to our handle, it is Lover of Tech BA. Now, after an hour of TikTok, it is 66% battery, 34.2 degrees Celsius, minus 13% battery loss on the iPhone, 74% battery, 35.0 degrees Celsius, minus 8% battery loss on the Oppo, and then 55% battery, 37.4 degrees Celsius, minus 15% battery loss on the Pixel. The Pixel again is taking a big hit. Ooh, we're pretty much getting into it. Next is Instagram. And Instagram, like I said, secretly is now my favorite social media application when it comes to watching and sending reels and memes to friends and family, because boy, I keep up with them better that way than actually directly with them. So it's interesting. And of course, for things that's happening with Lover of Tech behind the scenes, when it comes to things like the stories that we post, you can see what content is coming out, the press trips that we're on, and also the short form videos as well with collaboration. So you want to see more from us when it comes to behind the scenes and all of those things? Yeah, head over to Instagram, Lover of Tech _BA. Now, after an hour, it is now on 52% battery, 34.4 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss on the iPhone. 67% battery, 35.3 degrees Celsius, minus 7% battery loss on the Oppo. Wow, that is efficient. 39% battery, 36.9 degrees Celsius, minus 16% battery loss on the Pixel 10 Pro XL. Well, the Pixel's taking a hit there, man. And the efficiency in terms of single digits loss on the Oppo is impressive. Now, we are onto YouTube and we are watching 1440p 60 FPS video on mobile cellular data on full screen with one of our definitive camera comparisons. And yeah, 4K up to 60 FPS, 1440p up to 60 FPS, that uses a lot of data because it's high resolution and high frame rate, and this is mobile cellular data and it's full screen with the video. Now, after that, an hour, 38% battery, 33.8 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss, and that is on the iPhone. Now, on the Oppo, 57% battery, 36.5 degrees Celsius, minus 10% battery loss. Now, we're in single digits. 24% battery, 36.0 degrees Celsius, minus 15% battery loss on the Pixel. And again, the Pixel took the biggest hit, then the iPhone, then of course the Oppo Find X9 Pro. Now, next is an hour of YouTube music and one of my favorite rap albums and projects of all time, Kanye West's College Dropout. And boy, the track that really resonated with me when I was going through this was Breathe In, Breathe Out, because I had to breathe in and breathe out, because look at the battery percentage difference. The Pixel is now on 14% at this particular point, and there is still 50% battery left in the Oppo. And even if you look at it compared to the iPhone is half percentage down. Breathe in, breathe out, because boy, this is a stretch. Now, after an hour here of YouTube music, 22% battery, 35.1 degrees Celsius, minus 16% battery loss on the iPhone. 49% battery, 34.7 degrees Celsius, minus 8% battery loss on the Oppo. 10% battery, 35.8 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss on the Pixel. Ooh, the Pixel is just down and bad at the minute. 6 hours in, and now we are onto some mobile gaming with Subway Surfers, and damn. I'm thinking at this point, if the Pixel just finished up after 6 hours on 10% and the Oppo's on 52%, where are we going in terms of our extreme battery drain test finishing? I can't explain to you how much I was now just intrigued, stressed, excited, and even more stressed, because let me tell you, this was a lot. Now, after an hour, we see that the Pixel 10 Pro XL was the first to finish at 7 hours, 0 minutes, and 10 seconds. Final temperature reading of 35.4 degrees Celsius. In third place is the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL. And for the record, 7 hours of pure screen on time, this is very good battery life on a flagship phone. And it says and it shows that Google have really improved. Now, after the hour period, what do we have next when it comes to the phone that is going to kaput and finish up? And in this particular situation, it does look obviously that it is going to be the iPhone 17 Pro Max, which does wrap up at 7 hours, 17 minutes, and 28 seconds. The final temperature reading of 39.1 degrees Celsius. In second place is the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Again, commendable. The smallest capacity by a slight amount, but really efficient when it comes to the battery. But of course, look at the Oppo Find X9 Pro. This is where it's in a juggernaut status when it comes to battery life. Because like I was saying, with these phones wrapping up where they were, there is a huge amount of battery in these devices, and this is where the Oppo is shining. After an hour, 31% battery, 37.8 degrees Celsius, minus 12% battery loss. In a graphically intense game like that, this is crazy. One of only few phones to make it to WhatsApp video call on a selfie camera, and look at the battery percentage. We're getting close to 9 hours and it's on 20% just now. 19% battery, 37.8 degrees Celsius, minus 12% battery loss. It's pretty much lapped it. We're now in uncharted territory, the first flagship phone to lap it. And we are doing an hour of Instagram Live on mobile cellular data with the selfie camera, as you would do usually using the selfie camera for live streaming on Instagram. After an hour, 6% battery, 36.9 degrees Celsius, minus 13% battery loss. 13% battery loss is a huge loss in general. Instagram live streaming is intense on mobile cellular data, and it's still not dead. 10 hours plus, we're now watching a couple of our definitive YouTube videos with 8K reviews that we're doing. Definitely go check them out on our smartphone reviews and also tablets as well. After an hour, 1440p, 2% battery, 31.9 degrees Celsius, minus 4% battery loss. You can see the frustration. Where are we? 11 hours is insane. Wrapping things up, TikTok is what we came back to because you can't use the camera when it's low like this. 11 hours, 17 minutes, 26 seconds. Final temperature reading 32.7 degrees Celsius. In first place, the Oppo Find X9 Pro. So in third place is the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL with a finishing time of 7 hours, 0 minutes and 10 seconds. The improvement to battery life here on the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL is incredible. Getting this type of battery life is what we expect and want from flagship phones, especially when it comes to pure screen on time on mobile data with an active plan. This is a good look. So yeah, well done Google for this. This is the second extreme battery drain test we've done on it. We've done a real world one with the day in the life. Go watch the first one, go watch the real day in the life, and obviously watching this is consistent and this is really good from Google. So yeah, third place goes to the Pixel 10 Pro XL, finishing time 7 hours, 0 minutes and 10 seconds. And in second place is the iPhone 17 Pro Max with a finishing time of 7 hours, 17 minutes and 28 seconds. Again, with the smallest battery out of the pack, the optimization here when it comes to battery life on the iPhones is incredible, and this is something that Apple have been really good and consistent with. So again, this is the physical SIM model, which the battery capacity is slightly smaller. I am intrigued to see if the eSIM only model in North America and Canada and USA does really eke out a bit more battery life difference. But for now, this is the region I'm based, this is where I'm at, this is what we get in terms of our extreme battery drain test results for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Second place, 7 hours, 17 minutes and 28 seconds. And in first place by a colossal landslide gap is the Oppo Find X9 Pro with a finishing time of 11 hours, 17 minutes and 26 seconds. Let that sink in for a moment. When the Pixel 10 Pro XL was finished, the Oppo still had 43% battery left, and compared to the iPhone finishing at about 41% battery left. This did an extra 4 hours ahead of the iPhone by less than 2 seconds. So basically say it did an extra 4 hours compared to the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And the battery life you're getting on the iPhone 17 Pro Max for pure screen on time and the Pixel 10 Pro XL is not a joke. This is really good battery life territory. For it to be able to do that in extreme conditions, doing things like Instagram live streaming, 4K video when it comes to YouTube and 1440p, as well as TikTok, and a whole hour of WhatsApp video. It is the first phone to have lapped all the 9 applications and then some. If this is what we're getting for battery life tech, wow. This is a fundamental and monumental leap when it comes to generational battery life gains, and this should not be understated. Impressive stuff. First place, Oppo Find X9 Pro. Finishing time, 11 hours, 17 minutes and 26 seconds. Now we've reached the end of the main extreme battery drain test. Here comes the juicy part. What were the exact parameters and specific settings that we used to set up these devices for this extreme battery drain test? As mentioned, this test was purely done on mobile cellular data only with no Wi-Fi option, and we are using Vodafone UK's 4G prepaid network. Now, let's jump into the quick disclaimer. Eagle eyes would have noticed that yes, the iPhone 17 Pro Max was showing a 5G signal compared to 4G and 4G Plus on the Pixel and the Oppo, and I don't know why that is, because to my knowledge on Vodafone UK's network, when using prepaid, the standard prepaid, not the prepaid plus, the standard prepaid, that is only meant to give you a 4G signal. And with the big value bundles that are put on there between the £10 and the £15 one, you are only meant to be getting 4G. Previously, when I did extreme battery drain test with the iPhone 17 Pro Max, it was just showing 4G indoor. So it's showing 5G. I cannot tell you why. Now, when it comes to the preferred network, you will see it as I go through the settings section that all of them have been left in their preferred 5G mode and 5G auto for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. But I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there that I don't have control as to how these signals getting picked up on these phones. But just a disclaimer to show you that we are using Vodafone UK's prepaid 4G network on the big value bundle. Now for the display brightness calibration, any manner of automatic and adaptive brightness settings have been disabled on all these devices. And with a clear white background, we have tried to calibrate these displays as close to 200 nits as possible to make it consistent with our previous extreme battery drain test. Now let's go through the settings parameters for each device, starting with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. As stated, when you go into the mobile data options, you can see it's on the default 5G auto and the standalone 5G has been enabled. The data mode is on standard. So again, this is no different to any of the previous extreme battery drain tests that I've done on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And for some reason, on a 4G prepaid plan, it's picking up a 5G signal. So do with that information what you like. But I like to be as transparent as possible so you can see how these phones were set up and used so that you know that it's as thorough and accurate as possible. When we go into the accessibility settings for display, you can see that the automatic brightness toggle has been disabled. Under motion is where you can see the limit frame rate that's been toggled off by default, meaning that we are getting a 420 Hz adaptive ProMotion display technology at work, which the phone will handle that. In the display brightness section, as you can see, automatic brightness and everything has been disabled, light mode, and the screen time has been put to never, which is one of the things I really like about iPhones. It makes it easy to battery drain test. As you can see with the battery health, we do have 8 charge cycles at the time of this recording for this extreme battery drain test. So again, as new as it comes. And you can see in terms of the power mode that the adaptive power has been disabled, again, giving more control and more consistency to this extreme battery drain test. But for normal everyday use, definitely enable the adaptive power on. When it comes to the software, we are running iOS 26.0.1. So again, with the iPhone, very easy to set up when it comes to the extreme battery drain test. I love it for that, and it's really convenient. Let's now move over to the latest one, which is the Oppo Find X9 Pro. Again, when you go into the mobile settings for the network, you can see that the preferred network is on 5G. Again, by default, but again, it's only picking up a 4G signal, and to my knowledge, on the standard Vodafone prepaid network plans, not the plus ones, which I will have linked in the description below, not sponsored. Again, I'm topping up these devices and activating the plans myself. This is what you're meant to be getting. And now when we go into the display settings, you can see that it is in a standard color profile, which is great to see. The eye care settings have all been left off by default. And of course, when it comes to things like the screen time, that has been increased to 30 minutes. The resolution is on the standard 1080p out of the box. We've not changed it to the high resolution. And also the refresh rate is on auto as well. So we are getting the variable refresh rate, the adaptive one, getting active and getting done on here. Now, when we go into the battery settings, there are different performance profiles when it comes to the Oppo Find X9 Pro, but we've left it in the balance mode, which is the default one. Again, when it comes to the power saving settings, again, that's been left the way it has. The video battery saver has been disabled and toggled off. Again, these are all controlled settings that are default. Go to the battery health is 100%. Of course, this is a brand new phone pre-release out of the box that we're using, having early access to, so that's what we're getting. And of course, as we are pretty much looking through, in terms of the software update, we are running the latest software that was available at the time of the recording, which is the 0.214 version for ColorOS 16 with Android 16. And you can see all the settings there. Again, when pre-release, there are opportunities for more software updates to make things more optimized and better, but at the gate, wow, have they done an incredible job, because it's paying dividends. So you can see it's powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 9500 and a massive 7,500 milliamp hour battery. Again, what they've done here is nothing short of incredible. Over to the Pixel 10 Pro XL. Again, when you go into the internet settings for the mobile data, you can see that the preferred network is meant to be running on 5G. So again, it's picking up a 4G signal as I expect versus the iPhone. I'm gonna keep emphasizing this because I know the comments are gonna go wild about making this unfair on the iPhone and the others and why it's picking up this. I have no control over the signal pickup. put it on the same plans. This is what we have. Again, we go into the display. Is it in the natural profile for the display colors? And of course, the smooth display for 120 Hz has been enabled, and the resolution is in its standard 1080p out of the box. Now for the battery, as you can see, in terms of what we have, the battery saver has been put to standard and the extreme battery saver has been disabled. Adaptive battery technology as well, when we look at what we have set up there, has been disabled. Again, the battery capacity is 100%. It is pretty fresh with this Pixel 10 Pro XL. So that's what we have here in terms of what we're working with. We're working with the phones that are fresh on battery out of the box. Again, adaptive battery has been disabled. And of course, when we go into the settings for the software, we can see that what we have is the latest Android version for October with the software update. So we've got everything that we need to make sure that we are getting the best performance for battery and everything. And of course, like I said, with the Pixel 10 Pro XL, this is the second extreme battery drain test we've done on it, and we've done the real world date in the life one as well. So definitely check it. The battery life on this is definitely indicative of how good it is. Charge cycles, 10 charge cycles. So again, the cycle count is still fresh enough for this to be considered and used for this extreme battery drain test. So again, we're getting the best performance that we can get out of all these devices when it comes to battery life. So yeah, that's the parameters that we use to set up for this extreme battery drain test. That is it with this extreme battery drain test between the Oppo Find X9 Pro, the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL. This is a monumental leap generationally in battery performance, and I'm here for it. If that means more pressure on the competition to adapt to this level of capacity, optimization, and battery performance, then so be it. This is incredible, and I am still mind blown, and I cannot understate it enough how impressive this battery life is on the Oppo Find X9 Pro. What's your thoughts? Are you easily as impressed as I am, or did you expect more? Because if you did expect more, then wow, because this is incredible. A 50% plus uplift in battery life in extreme conditions like this, take my money. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. That's it for me, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this, you know exactly what to do. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. I hope you're all safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.